We have about 90 universities and another 170 odd technical, schools, and so we have a large network of universities making people aware. We go to education fairs. Nice. The important thing we do at education fairs is we bring a lot of universities come over to Thailand. Of course, the advantage of Canada too is that you can study in French.
Swadika, welcome to Thailand today. I'm Kusma Yotaswut as your host. In 2011, the United Kingdom and the United States of America, China, Australia, and Canada are currently the most popular destinations for international students. According to Institute of International Education, there are now 2.5 million students attending countries' 170 universities. Some 27,000 Thai students study abroad each year. The United States remains the top destination, but its population of Thai students has consistently declined. Over the past 15 years, with some 7,000 Thai students choosing the U.S. in 2013-14, according to ICEP Monitor. Thailand Today will hear more from His Excellency Mr. Philip CALVERT, Canadian Ambassador to Thailand, who is on a mission to vie with the world's leading education destinations for Thai students going abroad. Let's hear from him now. Please welcome to His Excellency Mr. Philip CALVERT, Canadian Ambassador to Thailand. Swadika. Welcome back again to Thailand today, sir.
It's great to be back. It's always enjoy our conversations.
You have a lot to talk about. That's why you're back here. But today is more importantly that the Ambassador is going to talk about the mission to weave with the world's leading education of your country.
Yeah.
So, so do you consider that?
Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me here. And yes, I consider Canadian education to be the best value you can find in the world, and so we're very happy to be promoting education in Canada. It's a priority for us, and we're doing a lot of work promoting Canadian universities and colleges and technical schools and high schools as well. To our Thai friends. Before we start, I wanted to follow up one thing before we talk about education.
Yes, okay.
About our last conversation, because we talked about the Syrian refugees issue and our commitment to bring Syrian refugees to Canada. Well, this week we reached our first target of 10,000 refugees, and so we're well on the way to 25,000 refugees from Syria to Canada this year. By the end of February or March, we'll have accepted 25,000. So we're, I think as a country, very proud of that. And we have 10,000 who've arrived already. Our immigration officers are working like mad to process these. Yeah. It's gone a little bit slower than we thought because after the Paris bombings, we wanted to make sure our security screening was good. And so we've got good security screening for these immigrants and these refugees, I should say, and their 10,000, as I said, have arrived on Canadian soil.
Very good, and congratulations for that, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
But also, in connection to that, since you are starting that, so education will be given to them, to the children of the refugee who arrived.
Certainly, yeah. They have a good support network. Communities and sponsors are supporting them. They get a lot of support in terms of integration, getting into schools and getting into the public schools and giving also community support as well.
Oh, so very good.
Yeah, our experience has been that this has been the largest intake we've had like this since the Indochina War, and our experience has been very positive in the past. And we're a country built on everyone comes from somewhere else in Canada except our First Nations people, so we're very open and welcoming to them.
Oh, what a country!
So education.
Education given, yes. Back to education. Back to the education. So let's start off because since we're talking about Thai students, so until this minute, so how many students enrolling in the school, the university? First of all, how many university and school you have availability?
Well, we have about 90 universities and another 170 odd technical, schools, and so we have a large network of universities across the country, and these are range in size from very big ones like University of Toronto, one of the largest, I guess, our largest university in Canada, with large classes, a comprehensive program, to small universities like Mount Allison in New Brunswick, which is a small university, but you have a different university experience. It's in a small town, very intimate experience with small classes.
Small but good.
So it depends on what the student's comfortable with, what the student wants to study, and some thrive in big, dynamic cities. Some students, some foreign students, want to be in a city where there are or an experience where it's smaller and they get more attention. It really depends. So we have a great variety of them.
For foreign students, can easily get anywhere they like, any kind of school, any kind of universities that they wanted to?
Sure, I mean,
or any particular?
Every university has enrollment requirements. Of course, the students have to meet certain requirements, as whether they're domestic or international students, and the students that meet those, are of course, quite welcome anywhere. We have right now there are only about 1,600 Thai students in Canada studying in Canada, so it's very small because it's something we're trying to promote to get more Thai students to Canada, but one of the reasons we're active in education promotion is to bring more Thai students to Canada.
So why do you choose, Thailand choose the tourism to promote tourism for our country, but Canada is choosing education.
Yes.
Why so?
Well, we believe we have the best value of education that we can offer. It is, we have very top-class universities, different, depending on what the field is. Our universities are always in the top-leveled, ranked very high in rather overall experience. Our universities like University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, McGill, are often very high in business, in science, in education, and in engineering. Different fields, of course, different universities that have different specializations. So you have a university like Waterloo in Southern Ontario, very big on computer IT skills, and that university, Microsoft recruits directly from Waterloo University. So that's a lot of Canadians from Waterloo end up living in California working for these companies.
To be ambassador in which university to study?
Me? University of British Columbia, actually.
British Columbia. Yeah. So everybody will run after you for the British Columbia education.
Well, it was a good experience. I went to York University as well in Toronto. But depending on what you want to study, the different universities have different specializations. And again, as I said, it depends on the experience you want as a university. If you go to a big university, for example, you're a Thai student, you go to a big university like University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, there's a big, especially in the West Coast, a big Asian population there, either Asian by birth, who've come to Canada, or Asian, have been in Canada for generations. So they, so you have a more of that kind of environment, you might feel a little bit more comfortable. If you go to a small university like in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick, not a big Asian population there, but it's a small university, so you get a lot of attention from your professor. So that's a balance, right? Depends what you're interested in.
So what is the strategy to increase the number of Thais actually in Canada universities?
It's really about raising awareness. First of all, across globally, we attach a great deal of importance to education as in our foreign policy and our promotion of our country, because education, we believe, brings in. It's one of those fundamental promoters of people-to-people relations. So we use, and those people-to-people relations are important in any bilateral relationship. So we put a lot of emphasis on this. We also like to promote education because in Canada, for example, last year, having international students in Canada creates several $1 billion worth of economic growth. So that's important too. But the strategies we use, a lot of it is just making people aware. We go to education fairs.
Oh, nice.
The important thing we do at education fairs is we bring a lot of universities come over to Thailand and to promote their education, their facilities, a number of fairs during the year, and we organize and we support these universities. We have our own officers at the embassy who are responsible for education.
Yeah.
And then we also always have an immigration person at the fair as well. So in case people have questions about visas, they can answer those right away. So that's very important. The other thing we do is we build our own alumni network. We have about, we've restarted a Thai alumni association. So we have about 400 prominent Thais who have studied in Canada. And we use them as kind of our ambassadors as well.
Can you name some of them?
Well, off the top of my head, Kun Poramati, Dr. Poramati is head of the National Economic Social Development Board. He's a Canadian alumnus.
Alumni, yes.
So a number. There's a lot, and we had a reception earlier this year to bring them together.
Oh, nice.
So we're very happy with that, and we have. We also have, in fact, one of our local Thai staff at the embassy, who is responsible for education, is herself a graduate of Canadian University.
And she understands
So she understands that. So it's a matter of raising Canada's profile, drawing attention to us, and to giving the clear message that it's a good value in Canada. A value, for example, international student in Canada, the undergraduate tuition is about 17,000 US dollars. So that's pretty good. Especially our dollar is low right now, so it's a good year to go. Right? Graduate students about 12,000 US dollars.
Not bad.
So that's not bad. Secondly, as I said, high quality education. We have many good universities, top around the world, and or who are known around the world, and we use those to. So that attracts a lot of students. Another Canadian alumnus who we know is Ajahn Pavida Pananand, who often writes from Thammasat.
University.
She often writes about, she's a specialist in economy and business, and she often writes about Thai economy, and she's a McGill graduate. So
interesting.
So there's a lot there. The third thing we like to say about studying in Canada is the fact that it's a welcoming environment for students. We're very open. We like to have new people come. We're open to. And we have very strong ties with Asia Pacific, so a lot of Asian students come to Canada, and it's a very safe environment compared with other countries. So it's safe and inexpensive and welcoming. So all good reasons.
Many of you who watch this program are part now. Ambassadors have raised the figure of the university fees. But how about you want to totally like a year? Can you roughly say about hostel fees totally? If I'm a mother, so I need to send my child there. So how much I do have in my pocket to be eased up, not too very tight for the children?
Yeah, we see
approximately.
That's a good question. I'd say well, you have the fees, and then you're looking at probably another for living expenses, another, say. For a couple of terms, you're looking at, let's say, $15,000 a year.
Dollars.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So totally like a year and per annum.
Yeah, I would say like something like that. Yeah.
To 20 totally with education.
35, 30, say 30.
30,000
but it depends,
per annum.
Depends, of course, on the living
okay. That's the highest. That's the highest, right?
If you're going to go to stay at a residence, state university residence, you're paying, say, a few $1,000s a year for a semester. So, yeah.
Well, anyway,
Ambassador
already mentioned that there's somebody in the embassy to answer the question. But there again, for a marketing channel, what kind of marketing channel and networking that the Canadian university here to attract the Thai student?
Well, the universities themselves come out very quickly, very often. So the universities visit schools here. The universities come out individually they have their own networks, they have their own agents, a lot of education agents here. And so they come out and market individually. And then, as I said, we have group dynamics as well. Group of missions of universities come out and participate in our education fairs.
Very interesting. So, well, surely, because you mentioned about safety, parents would be real worried about the world situation. So you are the guarantee for that. So it be safe and sound for such education. So a Canadian is a kind of considered as an emerging education destination for Thai and foreign, I think, not only for Thai, but comparatively to gain a relatively small number of Thai students there now.
I think the Thai market has a lot of potential for us. We have a lot of potential for bringing Thai students here. It's a matter of raising their awareness. You know, as I think I've said before, I think the image of Canada and Thailand for a lot of students is someplace that's far away and cold, you know, with nice people. And so we have to go beyond that image and show that Canada is a country, of course, of diversity, a country with high technology, advanced innovation, warm summers, that it's not, that is a lot more interesting, a lot more to it than the people may have in terms of their image of Canada.
So in studying there, Your Excellency, learning language, the English that we use with the Canadian is a British English or
it's
what?
Canadian English.
Canadian English. So your own.
So it probably sounds more American than British.
Yes.
But it's
you're close.
A slightly different accent. Of course, the advantage of Canada too is that you can study in French. If you want to, learn French, or if you want to study in French, we have excellent universities in Quebec, especially that teach in French. Laval University, for example, very high quality. So the student can choose to study in French as well, which for us is great because it attracts a lot of students from the Francophonie, from French Africa, from the Francophone members in countries in Asia as well.
That's what I heard, because even in the tape recording in your embassy, it's French. So is it something that's why French come into it in the daily life, or is a national one of the national language?
Yeah, it's one of our 2 official languages.
Okay.
So for example, everything that the federal government produces is in English and French.
Okay.
Federal government officials are required to be able to speak English and French.
Oh, I see.
And so it's because our kind of founding nations were originally from France, and then also from England. So these 2 cultures, of course, the original people were First Nations people, and then the 2 kind of basic nations that founded Canada as it is now are English and French. So promotion of bilingualism is an important part of how we operate internationally.
This is a very good opportunity for the Thai student or whoever was watching our program. You can, once you got there, you not only have Thai, not only have the English, but you have the French.
Yeah.
You know. So
depends on where you are, of course.
Okay. So the French speaking, which part of the country?
Quebec.
Okay.
New Brunswick, a lot of French speakers in New Brunswick. If you study in a place like Ottawa, that's right on the border, of course, there's a lot of French speakers there, and University of Ottawa, for example, is a bilingual university. There are a number of bilingual universities in Canada, but there are, of course, French-speaking people all across Canada. But that's where the concentration is, especially in the province of Quebec and New Brunswick.
There are some Thai students who really, they just caring about food. They just mind about food. If they're there. Is there any availability? What kind of food that the children, the parent, or this is some of the parents given me the question to ask.
What kind of food?
What kind of food that they can enjoy it and live on. Not only what kind of?
Oh, well, there's all kinds of, it depends on the city, of course, but in our major cities, there's every kind of food you can imagine, right? And in the smaller towns, the food will be more sort of North American kind of food. It's
Thai restaurant should be there.
There are Thai restaurants all over Canada, so you can find them easily.
Yeah, so that's the answer for you. That for a Thai student who going to abroad and worrying about this kind of thing, instead of carrying the whole thing, they want to avoid that. This is the trouble. So let me come back a little bit on this education part of it. That means when the person there to study there, when they come back, what do they are being special offered by Canadian enterprises or company or anything?
When they come back
to Thailand?
Well, I think that is a challenge that we're continuing to work on. We want to know, better know who studied in Thailand, where are the alumni, and how can we connect them. For example, this big alumni event we had earlier this year, or late last year, we brought together 400 or so Thai alumni. It's being run by this new Thai Alumni Association. And the idea, one of those ideas we have is to better connect graduates of Canadian universities with Canadian businesses operating here, because of course that's a very good link to have. So we're working more on developing these linkages because we think that's very important.
I think so, because this is opportunity. Then for sure you can increase more of number of students by this. Because they know for sure that they come back and they get something in hand. Really worried about that matter. Well, so we have a few minutes for you. Why don't you use your, as a representative of the country, tell them that, convince them that this is a smart move, bright future.
Smart move, bright future for
in Canada.
For Canada. Well, exactly. Just if you study in Canada, you're going to have a top quality education. It's going to be reasonably priced. You're going to be in a safe city. You're going to be welcomed. And you're going to have an amazing experience. And also, in addition, you can apply to work while you're studying as well. So that helps reduce your fees. So come to Canada and study. We welcome you with open arms.
When they're there already, where can they see? I mean, they like to enjoy themselves also. Going around with the tourism part of it. Is there anything for them to relax when from their work, from their studies?
Well, it depends on where you are, but every city has lots of interesting things to see in Canada. If you like the outdoors, that's if you're in a smaller place, you like the outdoors, go out in nature. There's, of course, in the summer, there's swimming and sailing and hiking. In the big cities, there's everything. Theater, there's films, there's festivals. One of the biggest festivals in Vancouver is Spring Festival, with Chinese New Year. It's a big celebration. The cities are very interesting, and the cities are dynamic and growing very fast. You get great restaurants, and you have a great experience.
Last but not least, Your Excellency, can they work in their study?
As I just mentioned, yes, you can apply to work as you study. There's a special application process you go through, and then a lot of students, they work while they're studying, and sometimes you can apply to work after you study too.
So this is the opportunity. I have invited ambassador, Canadian ambassador, right here for you. And many questions have been asked and answered. So don't forget, smart move, bright future.
Bright future.
Study in Canada. Thank you very much for being here, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thailand Today would like to thank Canadian ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Mr. Philip CALVERT, who stressed that education is the best way to promote people-to-people relations. He will be pleased that Thailand and Thai students should consider Canada as their primary destination to take advantage of its safe environmental friendliness and world-class education. Thank you for watching Thailand Today. I'm Kusuma Yotha Samut. Hope to see you again next time. สวัสดีค่ะ